Alright, I think it's a time to just blend our leg back to the main skeleton. So our main skeleton leg is driven by it. And let's do a test skin cluster so we can see how everything's move and behave. So we'll need to add the skeleton blend node, as you probably guessed. And we'll just do this. Nice. Right, and we'll change the color. And we will call it leg blend. This is how we call it. I know. Yeah, the leg blend will be enough. Cool. Just displayed it. And now it's like a little bit wonky, but the reason why it's because we want to go and blend it in the world space. Sorry. So if we hit the P key and just blend in the world space, that's all right, because we are sure that the legs are exactly where they should be related to the world space. So we just can go and blend in world space. Cool. So that's our leg. And now let's just do a quick skin cluster. So the first thing, I like to have a null here called skeleton underscore out. Let's give it a green color. So this is our whatever we need, a like a rest skeleton output of it. For some reason we need it for skinning here where it is, and we're gonna grab the model and bring it down here, so it'll be easier to work with. The skinning actually in Houdini is extremely easy. The first thing there is, let's bring our skeleton. So I'll copy this object merge node and we'll just go and change it here to the skeleton. Rest skeleton out, cool. And it's here, fantastic. And now we're just gonna create a bone capture lines. It's a necessary step to create a capture lines for our skeleton. It's actually automated, you don't need to do anything with it. Then we will use a TED embedded. I'm just gonna create the tetrahedrals for our model. That will take a few seconds. Okay, here we go. So that's our tetrahedralized model with a TEDs inside. The resolution can be a little bit too high. I think we can just, just crank it up here maybe. Whoops, a little bit too big still. Cool, just a little bit more uniform, and just for speed reasons we're just not gonna enlarge it that much. So there's a gap between the legs. You can do it, even default settings will be great. It's just for testing, to be honest. It doesn't really matter right now. And let's just go back for a second and plug in the bone captures as a second input, and we'll use a capture by harmonics, which will give us a nice skinning. Capture by harmonic, here you go. And we take our skeleton as a first input, the model as a first input, and our tetrahedralized geo as a second, and voila, that's your skin cluster actually here. That's just the weight, that doesn't deform it. What we need to do now is just use a bone deform. So we're plugging, as you can guess, our geometry to the form, and currently is like a little bit crippled because it doesn't have the rest of the information. So we need the rest point transformations, that's actually our skeleton. That's fantastic, and we need some sort of skeleton, as a driver, right? So that's which is deforming as a third input. And cool, this is our skin geo now deforming. So let's test it. Let's just go to our test pose. Let's grab our leg, and lo and behold, here's our leg. And if we just go and move it around, something like this, go to the parameters. Now we can see our side roll in action. Looks actually pretty cool. That's why we wanted. Fantastic. All right, let's just go 0. Let's do a hero. Okay, it's a little bit soft. We're gonna fix it up. Toe swing, ball roll. Yep, and this is our reverse foot, kind of setup here. You can see that the heel is the skin cluster is very soft here. So let's just fix it by skinning for a heel. It's actually super easy. So we put it in a pose, however you like it. And we go to our bone capture and we create the capture paint layer. Capture layer paint. So that node actually allows us to do some changes on our skin cluster. And if we open actually we need to connect it back to our deform. You can actually you can display on the deform, the flag, and you can still edit that node in a pose. With the wheel on your mouse, you can just change the size of the brush, and we'll just choose the joint which you want to change, and that will be L ankle joint, because I know remember it's ankle joint here, and I will display the visualize to the selected capture region, and I like to, let's say, go with the white to red, so I just see this one joint particular right now. And yeah, you just left click and you're adding some weights to it to kind of fix it. The right click gives you extra options for your brush. I like to switch it to a smooth single bone for the middle mouse button. So now when I press the middle mouse button, I'm smoothing the weights a little bit. And yeah, here you go. I'm just smoothing now, adding, and yeah, that's it. Yeah, I can just add there a little bit there if I want to, but now I'm using a middle mouse button to kind of smooth it out. And if you just think maybe I went a little bit too far, I can just go L low leg, and I can just change the brush opacity. We can change the brush opacity to 0.1, so it'll be a little bit softer. And we can just add some weights there, maybe not that much, maybe even make it even softer. Yep. That's cool, and just smooth it, and that's just a kind of a skin cluster which we have here. Cool. And the last thing after painting your skins and something, I like to basically go and lock my node. So all that information will stay there no matter what you changing on the top network. And let's have a look here. Okay, so we'll just unlock it. Yes, and we'll just go now lock it back. Cool. I don't know why the view stay where it was. Cool. So now you can see that we have a nice ball roll here. Cool. So that's our test skin. Now what we do, we're gonna organize the setup a little bit, clean it up, and close it into separated network. But actually, before we do that, we're gonna mirror our setup to the other side, which I think is gonna be really fun to do, and show you how you can mirror all of your setup on the right side. So currently we everything prototyping like this. It's a little bit messy, and but everything at the end we'll just go and close it into sub networks and clean it up, and you will see how handy it is to do it this way. So it's good to just prototype in a one open network, so you can go back and forth quite a lot, but at some point we're just gonna go and then close everything in the sub network. So yeah.